Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And Simon got to solve a foggy murder mystery puzzle the other day, so I'm getting one today. This is Killer at Large in the Fog #3 by Fenners. Fenners featured on the channel recently, actually. Simon did a puzzle by Fenners, but I think this rule set mentions the Zodiac. And I'm wondering, well, I mean, obviously #3 of Killer at Large in the Fog suggests there is a series. I thought Michael Lefkowitz was doing a series with the Zodiac in, but I might have got that wrong. Anyway, it may well be part of a series. You can check out Logic Master Germany, I don't know. Anyway, I will go through the quite long rule set of this puzzle in a moment. And there's a killer to find as well. So it's quite an exciting murder mystery, I guess. And we'll tackle that in a few moments. Now, first of all, don't forget our merchandise featuring the wonderful Secret Squared t-shirt. Thank you so much to Amber Pitcher for her design. And you can get that if you go to the store tab or under the video or our Teespring link in the description field, where you can also find a link to Sven's Sudoku pad and to all of our apps, which not only feature Arrow Sudoku, Line Sudoku, and those are the relevant ones, but of course Fog of War Sudoku. So that is the latest app, and very good it is too. There's also on Patreon this month we are running the April Foolery Sudoku hunts. Pretty difficult, although that difficulty is spread very evenly across the puzzles, and we urge you to give it a try. If you can get through any of these puzzles on the channel, you can get through that hunt and get in with the chance of winning the incredible cushion cover that Emily Williams has made for us. It's a fantastic prize this month. We're so delighted with Emily. We're so pleased to be able to offer it. And we imagine the winner will be delighted too. And of course on Patreon there's other things. There's the crossword solves, connections videos, the long solves that Simon occasionally does, and the Sudoku hunt solution videos, which may be more useful this month than usual. Anyway, give Patreon a try. Go on. Now, let's have a look at what's going on in the rule set for Killer at Large in the Fog #3 by Fenners. Hello again, Detective. It's been a while. We've been withholding this letter from the Zodiac for a while now, but even our best cryptographers don't know how to get started on it. Here are the rules we have. Now it's over to you. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and 3 by 3 box. That's what I think that means. Dynamic fog. The letter has been partially smudged this time, and digits may or may not reveal more clues. Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in the bulb. All bulbs are visible from the start, so these are the 6 bulbs that apply to arrows in the puzzle. If a line heads towards a cell, it enters that cell. Yeah, I mean, I think we'd expect that. They are snipped, so they can't be seen through smudge, which is fog, I think. I don't really know what that means. I suppose something to do with you can't tell where a diagonal line will go. Is that it? I don't really know. I don't know. Anyway, it means you can't see the line in the next cell, but you can in the one it's in, and it will go into that cell. That's what I think it means. Now, the parity line rule. And on red line, adjacent digits must have 1 even and 1 odd digit. So that's 1 even and 1 odd. Who knows where the line goes? Oh, I see. This line might go diagonally into other cells, but it's been snipped a bit so that we can't tell if that's the case. Now, on a peach line, for every 3 adjacent digits, so let's assume it went somewhere like there. It might go here, but let's assume it was that. 1 must be from the set 1, 2, 3, 1 from 4, 5, 6, and 1 from 7, 8, 9. Ah, there's also a modular line, that's teal. For every 3 adjacent digits, they might go that way on this one. 1 must be from the set 1, 4, 7, 1 from 2, 5, 8, and 1 from 3, 6, 9. So it's modular because we're looking at modulo 3 and the remainders Or more simply, you can divide your keypad into 3 vertical stripes, just as for the entropic line you can divide it into 3 horizontal stripes. And every 3 digits must have 1 from 147, 1 from 258, and 1 from 369. Now, region sum line, digits on a blue line, I can't even see a blue line, so they must be under the fog. Digits on a blue line must sum to the same value for each box it enters. Now, those are the normal rules that we would have for these lines, but there's quite a few different line types there, 4 of them. We've got arrows, and that's it, and normal Sudoku rules. Finally, the killer's name will be revealed by the digits in cells with outlined boxes. That must be this one on the right here, and this one and this one. Our heads were scrambled by this one. Marvel at how letters could possibly be equated to digits. Good luck. Now, that reads to me like a hint about equating the letters to digits. And it reads to me as though, I mean, note that capital M on Marvel. Oh, in fact, it says, I misread it because I thought I read the exclamation mark. I marvel at how letters could possibly be equated to digits. But now the capital letter on Marvel is really important. I was going to say it's been sneaked in there at the beginning of a sentence. It hasn't. It's been added. So this is something to do with the Marvel universe. And you couldn't have come to a person who knows less about it than I do. So I may fail at that last step and require the comments to explain to me something about the Marvel universe and how letters can be equated to digits. We shall see. I hope I remembered to do the last step, should we get there. Anyway, those are the rules. Give it a try. I'm finally, how long into the video am I? 7 minutes. Going to start the puzzle now. Let's get cracking. Okay, so these arrows, these are long. Okay, the things I know about arrows shaped like this are that these 3 digits on this top arrow, and I mean all of these arrows follow the same pattern. Let's colour them just so I can explain this better. I'll take these colours out shortly. Blue, yellow and red, the primary colours. Now, this arrow, these 3 digits have to equal at least 6. They must be 1, 2 and 3 because they're in the same row. They have to be different. And that's the minimum. However, because this is not going to be more than 9, these can't add up to more than 8. So they must have a 1 in. Furthermore, this digit is going to be 1, 2 or 3 because the minimum for those is 6 and the maximum for that is 9. The biggest difference available is 3. So that's going to apply to all of these cells, and that gives us a 1, 2, 3 triple in column 8. I suppose the circles, the minimum value for those is 7 because 1, 2, 3 and a 1 would make 7. So that's a 7, 8, 9 triple. All of these have a 1 on, which is going to give us a swordfish, which is a 3-column X-wing. That's going to mean, because blue is going to use a 1, yellow is going to use a 1, and red is going to use a 1 in columns 5, 6, and 7. No, that's going to take up the 3 ones for those columns. And no other cell in the column, i.e. these ones, can possibly have a 1 in it now, which, you know, may help us as we go on. It's a very odd feature. What else can we do with these triples, these vertical triples of 7, 8, 9? A red line, that just has to be odd or even. That's not interesting. The green line, you see, you're almost in position to say that this cell contains a low digit, but not quite, because it could contain a 6, and that could be the 1. If we'd been told, and I don't think we were, that every line must be at least 3 cells long, this couldn't be a 6 and it would have to be low, but I don't think we've got that information. And it may not be true. Oh, what about the other arrows? Yes, this is interesting. So this arrow is in the same row as these bits of this arrow. These can add up to at most 8. Between those 5 cells, the most they can add up to is 15, because they have to contain at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the cells in the row. And 15 is the triangular number, so I know for 5. So I know that is the minimum. And that means, well, that's the minimum for those 5, plus another 1 here is 16. So these two cells have to add up to at least 16 between them. Now, don't be fooled that that has to involve a 9, because they could be the same digit. They could both be 8. But this one at least now becomes 7, 8, or 9. And there's this arrow as well, which we know goes to there. I mean, we can probably assume it carries on into here, because where else? I suppose it could go... Oh no, hang on, there was a rule. We were told that all the bulbs are shown. And this bulb is clearly for this arrow. So we've basically matched up all the arrows to bulbs for 5 of the bulbs. Like so. So this is the 6th arrow and bulb. And because we can't see arrow in those cells, it must come through here. I want to make this one purple. And therefore, this is, well, it's quite a similar situation. These 3 have to be different from each other. Again, they have to be at least 1, 2, 3. That is going to restrict this to being 1, 2, 3, this to being 7, 8, or 9, and these to including a 1 at least. Oh, and the 1 is not in the bottom row because we already know that's in red in the bottom row. So there is a 1 in one of these 2 cells. Now, 1s are getting very limited in this puzzle. There's 3 1s in those columns. There's another 1 in column 8 somewhere. So the 1 in column 9 is going to be in one of those 3 cells. Yeah, I don't know quite yet what's going on in columns 1, 2, 3, or indeed in column 4. Actually, let's look at column 4. The 1 is going to be either there, or there. Oh, there's another bloomin' swordfish, is there, on 1s? No, not quite, because we don't... That is the sets of possible places for 1s in columns 4 and 9, but we don't have a third column in columns 1, 2, 3 to match up against that, I don't think. Let's think about this purple one a bit more. Oh no, hang on. It's not that one. Let's go back to these. This trio of arcing arrows. Oh, yes. Okay. Ah, yes. Right. There is a way to present this. It's lovely, actually. This is not a simple jellyfish, swordfish on 1s. I never quite know if I'm using the right terms. Is swordfish 3 or is jellyfish 3? I don't know. I'm using swordfish today. Sorry, purists. Now, the point is, add up those 3 circles, 24. 9 plus 8 plus 7. Add up these 3 tips of the arrows, 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3. 24 minus 6 is 18. And that must be the sum of these blue, yellow, and red cells in columns 5, 6, and 7. And that means 18, remember. Divide that by 3. They each must add up to 6 and must contain 1, 2, 3. And that was totally obvious from the start, and I completely botched understanding it. But I've got there now. And that must help, because that X swordfishes 1, 2, and 3 out of all these cells. And this has got to help. Yes, these 2 digits are now 4 and 5 minimum, and that is clearly what they are to give a 9 in a circle. There's our first digit after 7 minutes of intro, 7 minutes of solving. I've got a 9. That is now not a 9, and that tells us that this is not a 3 because it couldn't sustain that. And these add up to 6 or 7. They're either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4. They must include a 2. This one we know isn't a... Oh, this isn't 1, 2 or 3 in this row. There we go. That's a 4. And now these must be a 1, 2 pair. And this must be a 1. 4, 6, 7, and 1 is 8, giving us the maximum digit we can put in this circle. Now we've got 9 in the column. So that's an 8, and we're away. Here we go. What can we do next? That 1 says this is not the 1. The yellow is not the 1 in column 8. There is a 1 in column 8, but we don't know where it is yet. It's blue or red. That 4 is looking up to this digit, 5 and 4 there. The other digits in row 3 are 6, 7 and 8. But this one we know because it sees a 7, 8, 9 triple in column 4. So it can't be 7 or 8. That must be a 6. This isn't clearing any fog. And it always worries me a little. I'm so used to regular fog where when you put in a digit, it clears that cell and the ones around it. Now, I don't mind that, but in a lot of dynamic fog puzzles we've done, putting in a digit at least clears its own cell. And I mean, I'm really comfortable with my logic, but putting in this 5, 6 and 4 on top of the fog has not cleared anything. So I'm going to keep getting a bit scared until we get closer to the truth. Now, the biggest available circle here is 7. And these two cells, this one is at least a 3 in its box, and this one is at least a 2 in its box. So there's not many degrees of freedom. That can be 7, 6 or 5. This can be 3 or 5. This one could be 2, 3 or 4, I suppose. How could it be 3 though? I don't think it could be 3. That wouldn't go with 5 because the total would be too big. And it wouldn't go with 3 because that would be 2 3s in the column. So that is 2 or 4. And that is always even, and this is always odd. So they must add to an odd number, and 6 is not possible. That is 5 or 7. And one of these two is definitely a 5. Is that going to be relevant? Probably not. Haven't touched any of the lines we were given yet. Should I be thinking about them? No, hang on. This cell is naked. Naked in row 9, column 4. It's naked, which means that it sees all the other Sudoku digits, and therefore only one remains possible. Because you have to take that as a 7, 8, 9 triple. You've also got a 6 in the column. You have to take that as a 1, 2, 3 triple. You've also got 4 in the row. The only digit remaining is 5. And that didn't clear any fog. I'm now kind of waiting with every press to see if I clear some fog. Look, this is naked now as well. Again, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the column, 1, 2, 3 in the row. That's a 4. And that didn't clear any fog. Now, I'm not really, but I'm feeling like I ought to be beginning to get annoyed that none of the fog is clearing. The other 3 cells in column 4 are 1, 2, and 3. And now we do know that this is low, this is high. On a German whisper, you must connect. I haven't gone through the sort of German whisper rules, but not rules, but deductions. One is that 5 can never appear on a German whisper line because there's no neighbour that can neighbour it. The other is that digits therefore alternate between digits higher than 5 and digits lower than 5, because if, for instance, you put 2 digits lower than 5 next to each other, the difference would not be enough. And finally, I mean, let's not worry about monogamous digits 4 and 6. But anyway, this is high. It sees 9 and 8, so it's 6 or 7. This now can't be 3 on that whisper line. That means one of these 2 digits in the box is a 3, and that's not. I have a feeling these micro deductions about removing individual candidates from blue, yellow and red might pay off in the end. Ah, no, Sudoku might pay off. It often does. Look, there's a 1 in one of those 2 cells and there's a 1 there. So we can work out that the 1 in column 3 has to be in box 1. There it is. Didn't clear any fog yet again, but it takes 1 out of that, out of the blue arrow tip. Blue and yellow are now a 2, 3 pair, so we get a 1 in the red arrow tip, which takes a 1 out of this cell. And also looks across here. A 2 there. I'm just going to literally give a cheer if we eventually clear some fog on this path, because I still feel I'm doing the right things, and I'm getting no fog reward for it. Okay, let's have a think about this column just in case. We've got 1, 9 and 8 already placed. 2 more odd digits there and an even. I'm wondering about the parity here and whether I can isolate it. I don't think I actually can. We've got a 6 to put in somewhere in the column, but also another 2 or 4 and 1 more odd digit. So no, I don't have the wherewithal to get a grasp of that yet. Oh, 1 is looking at this cell. Oh, I thought that was going to give me a pair up column 4. It didn't. Have I missed any further Sudoku ramifications of the few 1s and 2s I've placed? Don't think so. Oh, I'm going to have to start considering these crazy lines. Yes, well, I mean, there's something we know. In the bottom row, we've got 6, 7 and 9 to place. So this line here, now this is a teal line where we have the modular set. That's not very helpful. Although, this can't be from the 258 set. And in the first 3 cells of this modular line, I don't know if I can assume it's 3 cells long. Maybe it's best not to do that. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that. I don't think that's where I get my next bit of juice from. Oh, the 1. Yes, of course. The 1 goes with a 7 in this cell. We can actually add up red. That's a 7. That takes 7 out of these cells. 7 in box 7 is in one of those 2. That's not quite decisive. I feel like I've missed a clue somewhere. Do I need to think about this? This is the entropic line. I understand those a little better. Right. I don't want to assume that it must be 3 cells long. Sometimes there's a rule that if a modular line is 2 cells long, the 2 digits must come from different modular sets. And that might be the rule, but it didn't explicitly say it. What I was going to say is once this line gets its 3rd cell, one of those cells is going to have to be a 9 because that's the only high digit available in this box. But I don't know. I'm not working on that. I think there are still clever things to find in the puzzle that I haven't got to yet. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this row. We've managed to fill out a lot of rows 3 and 9. So can't we do something in row 5? Can't see what. Actually, this is a bit limited. This is 4, 5, 6 or 9. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting now. Because I was working out that 9 was one of the first 3 numbers on this peach line. But so is a low digit, and the peach line doesn't run into these cells, which are defogged. And that can't be a 1. None of the fog cells can be a 1. So the peach line, you see, if I could assume the peach line was at least 3 cells, I would know that one of these 2 had to be a 2 or a 3. No, had to be... Oh, yeah, okay, I don't know. Yes, I do know, because none of the fog cells can be 1s based on the position of 1s. So 1 in this box is in one of those cells. Okay, that wasn't the conclusion I thought I was going to draw. Or is it? No, it's not. I was going to say that one of these foggy cells, wherever the peach line carries on, would have to be 2 or 3. And therefore this was a 1. But I've now finally worked out that this could be the 1 in the corner. So I should have a little word with myself about weird presumptions and just try and do some other part of the puzzle, because I'm not in the right part of the puzzle. It gets very hard to focus on anything else once you get a bit locked in on something, which is probably why I'm missing utterly basic Sudoku at this point. Well, okay, it's not utterly basic Sudoku. There's a 4 in one of those 2 cells. This column surely might, this column or column 8 might have something for me. I'm going to start here again. 198, 4 in one of those two. This can't be 2 or 7 or 4. This is 3, 5 or 6. Ah, so 2 in the column is also quite limited. Look, 2 is in one of those cells in box 1 because of this and the markings here. So this pair is a 2-4 pair, in fact. And that means, what have we got? A 3, 5, 6, 7 quad in the other bits, of which 3 must be in one of those 2 cells. Is that helpful? No, this is helpful. This is now even, this 2 or 4. So this digit must be odd. It's not a 2. And that is a chocolate teapot triple in the column, i.e. it's useless. Even though we've taken one digit for different reasons out of each cell, we have not established any of them. The very definition of a chocolate teapot. Right. One of these is now a 2 in the box, so that's not a 2. Here's the same chocolate teapot triple in column 7. Yeah, I don't know how to resolve that. Let's have a look at row 5 again. I did have a look a while ago and it didn't really get me very far, and it still doesn't. No. Oh, I'm being a numpty about something now. Oh, I don't know. What is it I'm not thinking about correctly? Something. Actually, I claimed one of these had to be a 5. That's absolute tripe. I mean, I didn't do anything based on that, but that was a non-true statement, because this could be 3 plus 4 equals 7. Not only did I not do anything about it, I actually pencil marked this cell with a 5 in, so luckily my mind was doing the right thing while my brain was actively engaged telling you the wrong thing. Okay, what is this? It can't be 1, 2, 4, 8 or 7 or 5. So it's 3, 6 or 9, which is a very interesting group from one single modular set, but it doesn't help us at all. 4s. No, 4s are not useful. What this digit? Where? I was going to say, where does it appear in box 2 and say it was in one of those cells? But if it's a 6, no, it's already there. Still haven't cleared any blooming fog. Gosh, you have to go a long way in this puzzle to get any extra help, don't you? I mean, I suppose, you know, murderers do cover their tracks. Maybe I should have taken more care about that thought. 1, 2, 3, 7, 5. So the remaining digits in this box are 4, 6, 8, 9 in any potential order. That's not going to do anything for me, marking that up, except very slightly ease my thoughts. Now, in this row, this pair is either 9 and 3 or 8 and 2, because the other yellow cells always add up to 6. If it was 8 and 2, that would become a 4, and that really would separate the sheep and the goats in the form of a 7 and a 3. And that would fail. That's quite interesting. I didn't expect that. I mean, I was just talking for the sake of something to analyse, but it actually does fail the puzzle. Right, let me explain that again, if I can remember it. If this is a... Oh, no, it doesn't. I've got my stuff the wrong way around. Oh, bother. Sorry, I thought we were going to get a 3 there and a 3 there, which would rule all possible 3s out of box 8. But that is not the effect of what we get. If that's a 2, that's a 3, and it doesn't actually tell us where the 3 is in column 7. So I was barking up the wrong tree there. It probably isn't a kind of look at one case then the other thing in this puzzle. It doesn't feel like that sort of puzzle. It feels more like the sort of puzzle where I'm meant to be able to conclude something from a line. But I mean, I need to clear the fog to know anything about the lines, don't I? That is 6, 7 or 9. Ooh, you could nearly, oh no, this is the teal line. So, well, it's difficult for this to be from the 1, 4, 7 set, but it could still be a 4. That would push 4 in box 8. No, it's not that line. I think we're still looking at something to do with the old swordfish. But I don't know what it is. There must be a 4 up here. That's so uninteresting. 1954. Now we limited 2 there, which was something I hadn't thought about for some reason. Oh, that was because 2 went in one of these places. Or, you know, one way around. I'm not sure where the causality was, but they go together as deductions. One, 2, 3, 4. It feels like this row ought to be interesting, but I just don't have any other deductions from it. So, sorry, I'm going to have to just find something. I'm probably overlooking a clue. What would Watson say to Holmes to help him or to accidentally inspire a revelation at this point? Damn thick pea soup, Holmes. I can't see through it. Now. This does need a low, well, I don't know, it may be only 2 cells. I can't say that needs a low digit. 4, 1, 2, 3 here. That digit is the same as that digit. I mean, that might be a thing that's worth actually marking. Let's get rid of the blue, yellow and red, and indeed purple markings, so that we can start marking cells against each other. Now, what did I say? That digit is in this set of 1, 2, 3. And so is that digit, which is the same, not those. So they're the same digit, which then must go in one of these. Now, I can do that for all of these lines. Those 2 are the same digit. That and that are the same digit. And this one, that was the one I was interested in first. It's either a 3 there or a 1 here. It's in one of those cells. Orange is a 1 there or a 2 there. Purple is a 2 there or a 3 in one of these. Actually, I think the 3, yeah, in this column, the 3 is specifically in one of those 2 cells, so that's not a 3. Oh, if I could, oh look, I could nearly rule 3 out of this cell in row 8. That would be so exciting. If that was a 3, this couldn't be 6 or 9 on the modular line. It would have to be a 7. And the reason I know this isn't a 3 is because it sees a 1, 2, 3 in the coloured cells in the column. These are from 4, 5, 6, 9. Is that interesting? They see 1, 2, 3 in the column and 7, 8 in the box. It's not really, but it's not far off interesting. We've still got to place 7 and 8 in the column somewhere. Now, I didn't really study this. If that was a 3, 9 pair, no, first of all, if it was a 2, 8 pair, 2 and 8 would have to go up here in box 1. And that would be a 1. And that would be a 1. Ah, I'm missing some item. Is it this arrow? Because like I've sort of done all the other arrows. Maybe that can't be a 2. If that was a 2, this would be 3. That would be 9. You'd have a 1 here. Oh my goodness. That's it, isn't it? Look, if this was a 3, it's that simple. If this digit was a 3, that would be a 1, and that would make both of these cells in the same box 2s, because that would make this a 2, and that would make this a 2. It's that simple. I couldn't see that. I'm so... Well, I'm a little annoyed at myself. Let's stop apologising, as people encourage us to do. Now, please, something on this path, clear some fog. That's a 4. That might do it. No. That 4 is joining a 3 and a 7 on the arrow. And this cell becomes a 2. Still no fog will clear. That 7 looks up here and makes that a 6. That does the German whisper thing and makes that a 1. We know that orange was going to be a 1. Now we know that green is a 3. Ah, fog clears. Hurrah! Tiny bit of fog. Oh, and look, this is where the line gets snipped. That red line is going on into that cell. We'll have a look at that in a moment. We can do purple is a 2. Actually, I can get rid of the colours now. Done their jobs. Oh, that's taken ridiculous length of time. Right, now we add up the arrows. That's a 9. That one's an 8. All the arrows are complete in this part. Well, no, hang on. I haven't unwound that 1 3 pair, that 1 2 pair, or that 2 3 pair. And indeed, these blooming cells all form a deadly pattern that something is going to have to intervene to unlock for us. Anyway, let's look at the red line. This is a parity line. Odd, even, this is odd, and it sees 1 5 in the column, 7 3 in the row. That's a 9. That cleared something down here. Okay, just before I get there, I'm putting 5 6 8 as a triple to complete row 5. Okay, let's look here now. So these 3 cells, it's not a low digit, which would be a 3. They have to include 1 from 1 4 7, 1 from 2 5 8, and 1 from 3 6 9. It doesn't immediately feel like that's helpful. That is not from 2 5 8. So one of these is a 5 or an 8. Now, it might not just be in the places where the fog clears that we need to look. There might be Sudoku to do. The fog clearing could be a clever blind to take my attention away from the regular Sudoku. Yes, I can place 3 in this box. Didn't notice that. Have done now. Now I can place 3 in box 1 and then 2. I can take my tentative, my pencil marked 3 out of the corner and observe there will be no 3s in the corner in this puzzle. This is not fun. This is a job of work for a detective. Now that's got to be 8 because of this 7 8 pair. And then there's a 5 6 pair in the box. And now as we come down the column we need a 9 and that's at the end. Then that's a 6. This is a 5. This digit is 7. That is box 7 entirely complete. Let's take 6 out of those candidates, 9 out of those, and that hasn't resolved the modular set of the corner. But I can place 3 by Sudoku there. And now this does resolve the modular set of the corner, which can't be a 6 and must be a 7. Ooh, that cleared some fog. What, it cleared that cell, did it? It was kind of out of the corner of my eye, I saw that. I don't know. Anyway, this is a 6. These are not 6s now. That 7 is looking up to row 3. I'm sort of trying to keep an eye across the whole grid. I don't think clearing that cell, which I'd already filled in of fog, is actually helping me, irritatingly. Now, one of these is a 7. Oh, hang on. That can't be an 8. So the 8 in row 5 has to be here. Now there's an 8 there somewhere, and that's all that does. This column, 4, 5 and 9, not actually very helpful again. This box, 2, 6, 3, 1, 7, so we've got 4, 5, 8, 9 to place. A Kabbalistic group of cells. No, that doesn't seem to be doing anything for me. Might have to consider the peach line, which is actually now the only line we haven't done anything with. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's cleared tiny cells of fog. Have we literally only cleared 3 foggy cells? And I celebrated when it started to do it as though we were on the verge of success. Well, now who's laughing in my face? Fenners, you say. You're right. Now, we need a 2 in box 1. Aha, that's in the corner. And that is the low digit on this line. And that did clear fog. We now know one of these is a high digit and is a 9, don't we? Well, that can't be here. It must be here. And 4, 5 or 6 is clearly the middly digit in that trio on the line. This is also from 4, 5, 6. These can't be 9s. Actually, this is on this green line. Did that clear recently? I don't know. No, maybe it didn't. But anyway, we must know what that is out of 4 or 5. We've had a digit from the 1, 4, 7 set. So that is a 5. I've also just noticed this line carries on to here. So now we have a set of 3, 5, and we need something from 1, 4, 7 there. Well, it sees a 1 and a 4, so that must be a 7. Oh, and now the peach line carries on. And this trio has a high digit and a middly digit and a low. But this trio, we're carrying on still, needs a high digit here, which can't be 7 or 8 in the box. So that's a 9. Hello, blue line. I'd forgotten there was going to be a blue line. This is tricky because we don't know how long the line is in this box. It could go into that cell. Let's see if there's Sudoku to clear up first. There's every chance I've missed some of that while contemplating my navel in respect of the rest of the puzzle as it opens up. That's a 5 or 6. Ah, that's an interesting pair. So we get 4 there and 1 here. And 4 here. Why will it not clear fog? That's a 9, isn't it? Yes. And then we're left with a 4, 8 pair in the column. Okay, 1, 9, 6, 2, 3. We now know 4 is in one of those cells. So this one is 5, 7 or 8, leading to the line segment sum being 11, 13 or 14. These are from 5, 6, 7. And this one from 5, 6, 9. Also, can the line carry on round into that 4 cell, which is the only other foggy cell? 4 plus a minimum 5, 6 there would be 15, plus a minimum 1 would be 16. If the line carried on to there, these would need to add up to 16, and they can't. So the line doesn't go up there. I don't know whether it carries on into box 8, but it certainly is only those 3 cells in box 5 now. And they must add up to 11, 13 or 14. They can't add up to 11 because that would require 5, 1, 5, the minima, and the 5s would be in the same column, which is anathema to me. So that is not a 5 to make this total 11. That is 7 or 8. Now something's happening in this column. I feel it, I feel it. Oh, hang on, look, 6 is looking at that cell. That's a 5. Now there's a 7, 8 pair in this row, so that's a 5. 4, 7, 8 are the digits still to place in the box. So we've got 13 or 14 on the blue line. And the trouble is, I think those are doable. Well, this can't be a 9 anymore, and that's important. If that was a 9, the minimum is 15, which is just too many now. So it's not a 9. That's a 5, 6, 7 triple. This is a 9. That's going to take 9 out of a couple of cells down here. In fact, we can place 9 in box 8 there. And there goes the fog, and we've got another stretch adding to 13 or 14. Right, the minimum for this stretch is 14, 4, 9, 1. And that's the maximum for the top stretch. So there we go. 4, 1. So those bits of the line match. This bit has to add up to 14. I'm going to come back to that. I think Sudoku might be our friend there. Now, I'm hoping that we generally start to clear fog as we enter these digits in. And I'm remembering for now that at the end of the puzzle we have to find the killer's name somehow, and it's going to require Marvel knowledge that I don't have. That was my fear anyway. 7 there. Yes, I think I'm going to get all the digits in the puzzle now, because that 1, 3 has been disambiguated by the blue line. Yeah. 1, 2, we just check this segment adds to 14. It does. Right, 2 and 3. And aren't we finished then? Clear all the fog. Yes, it did. It says, well done, you cracked it. The killer's identity has been revealed at last. We thank you for your efforts. Until next time, detective. A time of 38.5 minutes. Very well done if you beat that. Now, we have not worked out the killer's name. So, the digits in cells with outlined boxes. So let's contemplate these. I would normally go in grid reading order, but I'm not sure that's going to be appropriate. So, okay, what I do notice is that where there are double digits, where there are 2 cell boxes, the first cell is always a 1. And that does suggest to me that we might be looking at just alphanumeric code, which would be good because I understand that. And therefore I should read this as 15, which gives me the letter O in alphanumeric. 15 gives O, 12 gives L. A, D, D, O, O, L, E. That is not as promising as I was hoping. A doodle? That might be the answer. If you go in this order from here to here, 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 that order spells out a doodle, and that is quite a natural reading order. You read across, down, back across, and back down. So, if it is alphanumeric, I think that's what it's spelling. I'm also reasonably confident that if those boxes spell out a doodle, there's not much else that we could possibly have got out of them as boxes. I suppose, again, alphanumeric, you could add these to make a 6, which is F, 6, which is F, and 3, which is C. But then any message would be limiting itself to the digits A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, there may be some famous code within the Marvel universe where this is actually much more understandable. But there is literally no... I mean, we were once... I'm going to reveal my astonishing ignorance here. We were once asked to decode a code that appeared either in a Batman film or in a sort of teaser trailer for it. And I thought Batman wasn't Marvel, but there you go, I don't know anything, so who knows? I'm going to say that the killer's name is A Doodle. Now let's just have a look at the final message again. There's nothing to mention that A Doodle would be right. So I don't really understand why it says I marvel at how letters could possibly be equated to digits, and I probably don't know something. So I'm going with A Doodle as the killer's name. Which, what did it say at the beginning? A letter from Zodiac. The letter has been partially smudged. It might have a doodle hidden under it, mightn't it? I don't know. So apologies if I'm missing something either blatantly obvious or just in a universe I don't know. But you can comment on that solution, and I can say what a great puzzle by Fenners. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with more Sudoku tomorrow, maybe clearing up more mysteries. Bye for now.